Welcome. In this explainer, we are going to tackle the very first thing you really need to get for your IT career, and that's the operating system.
Okay, I want you to picture this. Imagine walking into a school, but there's no principal, no teachers. Students are just running wild. Books are all over the floor. Nobody knows what to do. It's just complete chaos. Well, believe it or not, that is exactly what your computer would be like without an operating system. So let's dive right into this. The operating system, or you'll hear us call it the OS, is basically the boss. It's like the school principal who shows up and brings order to all that chaos. It's the one telling all the different parts of your computer, the memory, the screen, the keyboard, what to do and how to work together. Without the OS, none of it makes any sense.
Now, you've probably seen some of these principles before. I'm talking about Windows, Mac OS, and Chrome OS. These are the big three, the most common operating systems you're going to find on desktops and laptops today. Each one has its own little style, a different way of doing things, but they all have the same super important job.
So what's the very first thing a good principal does when they take over a school? They get everything organized, right? So people can actually find what they need. Well, your operating system does the exact same thing with all the information on your computer. Let's take a closer look at how that works. The easiest way to think of it is like this. A file is just a single piece of your work. It could be a homework paper, a picture you took, a document you wrote. A folder, on the other hand, is the container. It's like a filing cabinet where you put all those papers to keep your disk from turning into a complete mess.
And here, you can see two different operating systems side by side. We've got Mac OS on the left, Windows on the right. Now, they might look different, kind of like two schools might have totally different buildings, but they follow the exact same rules. They both use files and folders to keep everything neat and organized.
And getting organized is actually super simple. To move a file, you just click on your paper, hold that mouse button down, drag it over to the filing cabinet you want it in, and then just let go. Boom, that's it. It's that easy. Now, for your IC3 exam, it is so important to get comfortable with these four basic actions. You got to practice moving files, making a copy of a file, changing a file's name, and deleting a file you don't need anymore. If you can get these down, you're going to be in fantastic shape for the test.
And listen, this isn't just a one-time skill. The simple act of dragging a file into a folder, that's the same fundamental skill you're going to use to organize huge, complicated computer servers when you're studying for big certifications like CompTIA A+ or Network+. You're literally learning the foundation for your whole IT career right here, right now.
Okay, but a principal does way more than just organize papers, right? They also set the rules for the whole school, and they make sure that any new equipment, like a brand new projector, actually works for the teachers. Well, your OS does all that stuff too. I want you to think of it like this. If you want to change the school rules, where do you go? The principal's office, right? Well, if you want to change how your computer looks, or how the sound works, or how it connects to the internet, you go to the computer's principal's office, which is the control panel or the settings menu.
Hey, have you ever plugged a new mouse or a keyboard into a computer and it just starts working like magic? How does that even happen? Well, that little bit of magic is because of something called a driver. A driver is basically a translator that lets the principal, your OS, understand and talk to a brand new piece of equipment it's never seen before.
So for example, when you get a shiny new printer, your computer doesn't automatically know how to speak printer language. You have to install the correct driver first. Without that translator, the principal, your OS, has no idea how to tell that new printer to actually print out your homework.
And learning about drivers now, it's not just for this one exam. This is another one of those huge core concepts. When you get to the CompTIA A+ certification, trust me, you'll be dealing with drivers all the time. Understanding the now just makes your future so much easier. All right, you've learned the concepts, you've seen the analogies, you get the principle, the files, the rules, the whole shebang. Now, let's see how these ideas might actually pop up on your certification test. Okay, take a good look at this question. Read it carefully. Think about the most important, the biggest job of the OS. Is it just one little task, or is it something bigger? The correct answer here is B, and let's break down why. Printing a document or designing a presentation, those are jobs for specific programs, what we call applications. But the operating system, that's the big boss. It's the principal. It manages and controls everything so that all those other little programs can even do their jobs.
Okay, let's quickly go over some keywords you are definitely going to see on the exam. We already talked about the OS, files, folders, and drivers. You should also know about menus and icons. That's the list of choices and the little pictures you click on. A browser is the program you use to get on the internet, like Chrome or Edge. And when you're online, always look for HTTPS. That little S at the end means it's a secure site, which keeps your information safe. Knowing these words is a huge help. And finally, here are my top 4 tips for test day. First, just slow down. Read every single word carefully. I promise they aren't trying to trick you, but you do need to pay attention. Next, look for clues in the question that point you to the right answer. When you see questions about being online, always think about safety first. And of course, keep practicing your file management. You got this.
So there you have it. You now have the foundational knowledge to really start your journey in IT. You understand the principle that runs the entire show. Just think about that for a second. With this knowledge, you can start to create, to organize, to manage anything you want. The possibilities, they are officially unlocked.